Are you ready to make millions of dollars? I have 18 agriculture business ideas that will make you a rich millionaire. Let's talk about these amazing ideas. This is Dr. Selim Sılay, managing partner of Afro-Turk Agro TV, and I will start a business and tell you the tips of 18 agriculture business ideas that will make you a millionaire. Starting a business in agriculture industry can be a rewarding and lucrative venture. With the increasing demand for food, the agriculture industry is expected to continue growing in the coming years. If you're considering starting an agriculture business, it's important to choose a business that has the potential to be profitable. And in today's video, we'll highlight 18 of the most likely agriculture businesses that have the potential to make you rich, from growing and selling produce to raising livestock and providing agribusiness services. These businesses offer a range of opportunities for entrepreneurs looking to enter the agriculture industry. Whether you're just starting out or looking to expand your existing agriculture business, these ideas are worth considering. So make sure to leave a comment, give the video a like, and hit the subscribe button. And now let's talk about fish farming that has attracted a lot of investors. Looking for a high profit margin, if you own land, fish farming may be a highly practical choice for you. To build a fish farm, you don't necessarily need a body of water. Simply investing in fish tanks or even building artificial fish ponds on your property can be a good place to start fish farming. And fish farming is an incredibly scalable and highly profitable industry. A wide variety of fish, including cod tilapia, silver trout, tuna, eels, salmon, grass, carp, rainbow trout, catfish, and many more may be raised, and some of these fish require very little care, while others need regular upkeep and care to develop and begin reproducing. Often, this refers to beetle leaf, a heart-shaped beetle leaf is a green and hue and member of the paper chef family. There are more than 90 different species of beetle leaf. Worldwide, with 45 species present all over India. The country uses it primarily and extensively in most locations with favorable climatic conditions. Beetle leaf is grown as a commercial crop. There are many varieties of beetle leaves popular all over the world, in many countries including Africa. These leaves are used in religious ceremonies and also coveted for the health benefits associated with consumption of beetle leaves. Cultivation is very profitable under proper management practices. Also, the other one is lucrative members of the orchid family, the fragrant vanilla wine. This tropical climbing wine, well known globally for its aroma and flavor as well as impressive profitability, has developed into one of the most expensive spices on the market. But it should be, because this unforgettable flavor has left lingering impressions on million taste buds, either as icing on the cakes or ice creams. And with so many are using, in fact, economists have frequently suggested that it may be possible to earn up to $6,000 per square meter or about $60 million per hectare. Vanilla comes in more than 40 different varieties and usually peak enough in 3 years after planting to produce their first crop, and after this they keep doing so for up to 12 or 14 years, in as much as vanilla crop is typically grown as an intercrop in fields of coconut and reconnect. Its vines can also be groomed indoors in a greenhouse or even in pots and other small containers. Don't forget saffron. Saffron is the most expensive spice in the world because it can be quite difficult to cultivate, and interestingly, it's not the plant's growth that takes so long. It's the fact that you have to remove the saffron threads from each plant individually. When it's time to harvest them, still with enough time and effort, it is possible to grow it yourself at home and profit handsomely due to its versatility and ability to be used in a very wide variety of recipes. Saffron and will continue to be a highly sought after commodity lately, because saffron is becoming more and more well known as a medicinal plant because of its wealth of antioxidants and its ability to reduce inflammation. It's a lovely plant that can be used in the diet. Industries, as well as it can make gorgeous flower beds. Saffron is definitely one of the most lucrative crops. You can grow it. It is estimated to provide an income of about $10,000 per hectare. And the days of having to get your hands dirty in order to grow plants are long gone today. A wide variety of crops can be grown without ever touching any soil. And additionally, you get to increase your profits significantly. Hydroponics is a type of horticulture in which crops are grown without the use of soil to grow the plants. Mineral nutrients solutions in an aqueous solvent are used, and hydroponic farming is extremely profitable. Venture for context, an acre of farmland will yield between $200,000 and $250,000 per year as compared to the yield of between $200,000 and $30,000 that traditional farmlands will fetch. Thank you to all of the crops that you may cultivate in your home. The garden lavender farming is one of the most lucrative in arid environments. This plant thrives in the sun, spring or fall, and is when the planting of lavender seeds or cuttings begins. If you're just starting, choose spring because that's when the earth is warming up. Everything involved in cultivation is simple. If you have a few additional areas and the right conditions for growing, you can start growing them right now, immediately. And the commercial cultivation of lavender can serve as a huge source of income in the right circumstances. Selling fresh or dried lavender can bring in up to $120,000 per acre. Additionally, you can increase your income by producing your own value-added lavender goods like lotions or soaps. Lavender has a wonderful property of being profitable to cultivate on almost any size in Turkey and Africa. According to some of the farmers, it's possibly the easiest type of agriculture is silk farming. Practiced with excellent returns and unquenchable market to produce the highest quality, harvest farmers must comprehend and adhere to a set of careful steps involved in silkworm farming, and a simple process error could end up costing a farmer money and result in suffer silk with silkworm's entire life. When you look at the entire life cycle, it lasts about 45 to 55 days, with the egg stage lasting 10 to 12 days and the larval stage lasting 25 to 30 days, the spinning of the cocoon taking 2 to 3 days, and the pupal stage lasting 5 to 7 days, and the adult stage lasting forward 5 days. The female silkworm lays her eggs in a dim, well-ventilated space to begin the silkworm rearing process. Depending on the harvest, silk farming could generate $10,000 per hectare and more. So, being a great hobby flower gardening can also be a successful venture, especially when you first begin. Millions of plants are available, and there are countless combinations that can be made. In general, floriculture offers fantastic opportunities for those who love gardening. Additionally, the floriculture industry has good financial potential for those who choose to go on a large scale. You should take your investment potential, land acreage, agroclimate conditions, and local market demand into account. Though flowers are a delicate commodity, therefore maintaining flowers' freshness and marketability requires adequate post-harvest treatment. While flower growers claim average sales of $25,000 to $30,000 per acre, we are aware that this entirely depends on the industry they are selling into the area. And also the grower's skill level is very important. A common chewing nut is produced by Eureka nut palm. Due to its extensive consumption, this nut is in high demand. The Eureka nut is popular with religious rituals as well as, interestingly, this nut is a fruit that belongs to the drupe family and not a real nut. It is possible to have the fresh, cured, and dry forms all commercially accessible. Generally, the Eureka nut growing for commercial purposes is regarded as a successful agriculture business and has been suggested to fetch over $10,000 per acre, although this largely depends on accessibility to the market. And we see many families that are using this nut palm, and it is very necessary to maintain bees in the wild bees that construct their hives, which can be located anywhere, but are typically found in hollow tree trunks or other protected areas. As a backyard beekeeper, it will give your bees a constructed hive, so you can support the colony's upkeep and quickly gather honey. The beekeeper in the backyard or on a bigger scale has a few distinct options. The most prevalent varieties are Langstaff and top bar hives, the best way to organize beekeeping duties. And of course, by season, much like gardening, the optimal time to establish your hive is in the spring. So the colony you start with has enough time to mature, lay eggs, store honey before the winter arrives. Also, beekeepers make an average income of $40,000 to $300,000 in salary. It is also possible to earn about $500 per beehive. So these plants are propagated and cultivated to the proper size of nurseries, but how much money can you make from a plant nursery? In truth, profit margins have a potential to be extremely high. Even if you start with a small space and low initial investment costs, you can earn a massive return on your investment. And even if you decide to start a relatively large-scale plant nursery, your initial investment will be extremely low. All you really need to worry about is the land, and even then, you only need a small area to get started. As a matter of fact, the average income can make from a plant nursery business is up to $100,000 per year. Some nurseries specialize in particular fields, which may include retail sales, growing out plant materials to a marketable size propagation, and the sale of small or bare root plants to other nurseries. In an integrated farming system, a string of multiple agricultural practices is combined in functions like an ecosystem where all the components are interrelatable and balanced. A substance's waste might act as a nutrient for another. The result is the best possible use of the available resources and nutrients, the restoration of the ecological balance, and an increase in the farmer's revenue. Ultimately, farmers enjoy increased crop and livestock income, reduced waste, disposal efforts, and improved soil health. All of these advantages for farmers also guarantee the long-term viability of agriculture. Interestingly, some of the businesses can only be started to boost the farmer's revenue. Without any connection to agriculture, integrated farming is likely to provide an average annual income of up to $75,000, which is affected by factors such as the experience of the farmer, as well as the quantity and quality of the seed, among others. Also, this industry of raising livestock or animals is quite promising. You can start raising livestock in your backyard. On a small size or even a huge scale, it gives the crop enterprise through power and manure, which could then offer feed and fodder. Only lately has it become clear how important cattle organs can be in the production of drugs like insulin. However, we have long benefited from animal farms in several ways. They give us milk, meat, eggs, and honey. These animal skins, hides, and even hair have all been utilized to create blankets and other items. Livestock farming has been a very lucrative agricultural business over the years, and estimates show an average income of almost $200,000 per farm can be realized. Also, let's talk about agricultural systems that practice agroforestry, cultivate, and use trees, bushes, and livestock alongside crops. Agroforestry promotes long-term, sustainable, and renewable forest management, especially for small-scale producers, and it is a realistic and affordable way to put many forms of integrated land management into practice that aims to lessen human impacts on the environment. Profits from agroforestry are real and exist, and agroforestry is more profitable in traditional agriculture according to long-term studies. For example, Nigerian farmers combine locally sold crops like beans, bananas, maize, and cassava with cash crops like cardamom to generate a variety of income. In some cases, this equates to a yearly profit up to almost 20 times greater than that of your neighboring farmers. Also, let's talk about, as a medical doctor, I have to talk about medicinal plants. Medicinal plants is seen to have the potential to be a significant source of agricultural income on returns from regular crops. This is owing to the belief that medicinal plants have various advantages over regular crops, including a high price, reduced transit costs due to a higher value per unit volume, and a long shelf life. Growing medicinal plants can be integrated into current cropping or farming systems and offers considerably better net returns than growing agricultural or horticultural products. Medicinal plants have the potential of providing in excess of $60,000 per year, depending on factors like the size of the land and the type of the plant you choose. Thank you. It's interesting to note that the commercial poultry farming sector promises also a very high return on investment in a remarkably short period of time. Only a few types of poultry, like broiler chickens, mature and produce income more quickly in comparison to all other livestock businesses. Financial return period is very short, usually between 23 to 40 days. Although in the case of some other birds, it appears that the monthly wage for some of the farmers may vary or even last longer than 6 months. Products made from poultry don't cost so much, and the majority of people can afford them. Interestingly, it makes much more money during the festive and holiday seasons. So when we look at the farmer's salary averages, about $70,000 per year, this is based on the statistics in the United States. And say chicken farmers are in median hourly wage ranging from 20 to 30 cents to 57, with an average hourly wage of $35 to $50. Also, another very important one is producing fruit juice. Fruit juice is a very lucrative industry to be involved in this. And this is a result of a continued rise in fruit juice demand and taste, since the raw materials is increasingly accessible and costs little to nothing. It also becomes significantly more affordable for farmers who now know they can grow fruits, even if the only capital an agricultural business owner may need to invest in this venture is the money needed to pay for the equipment and facility rentals. The profits assurance over the long term is rather large, and governments, on the other hand, are well known for providing tax benefits to all the farmers. So these businesses have lower unemployment and increase the exports by taking also different business owners and mentorship. They can retain more of their earnings to support expansion and other programs that foster development of fruit juice production. Fruit juice production could average an income between $100,000 to $700,000, depending on the market size for the product. Also, let's talk about around the grains, which are among the most widely produced crops on farms. Grain farming is, contrary to popular belief, a very thorough and fascinating concept. It takes a lot of work to cultivate grains. A farmer may have an endless source of employment depending on the crops being raised, although many variables can affect grain development. They ultimately finally lead to some fantastic yields among the most popular grains in society. For instance, our whole grains like oats and barley. Farmers of grains will take the time to make sure that conditions are favorable for their growth. There will eventually come a moment when crops must be removed from their current location before being stored in the appropriate location. And the grain producers could earn almost an average income of $85,000. So there you have it, the 18 most likely agricultural businesses that will make you rich. If you enjoyed this video, watch also other videos and definitely follow us at Afro-Turk Agro. I'm so excited to be with you. This is Dr. Selim Sulay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. Take care and all the best. Bye.